Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new session of the HPP Innovation Week, the benchmark event on high-pressure processing technology for the food and beverage industry, hosted by Hyperbaric. I am David Flores, Sales Manager for EMEA region, and I am glad to present this new session named HPP in the Middle East, the land of the 1001 opportunities, where we will have a deep view into the market, product, and trends with some of the main actors in the HPP scene there. Today, we have with us John Santos from Smart Food Solutions, the first and only HPP tolling center in Dubai, and Gemma from Essentially Health Foods, one of the leading HPP juice brands in the market. Hi, Gemma. Hi, John. How are you doing?
Hi guys, how are you doing?
How are you?
Great.
Doing well.
Good.
Thank you for joining, guys.
Thank you for the invitation.
Before we get into deep conversations, I will make a short presentation on the HPP market in the Middle East and the product that we can see there. Okay. So
Sure.
I will open the presentation now. And there we go. Our company, Hyperbaric, we are an international reference for the development of high-pressure technologies and the world leader in industrial high-pressure processing equipment. We started in 1999, so we count on more than 20 years of experience today. We have more than 60% of the market share, with more than 300 HPP systems installed. As I say, 20 years of experience focused on high-pressure processing. Current turnover of more than 50 million euro. Now, currently, we are more 120 people, combining all our different offices all over the world. And we have been making a very strong effort on R&D over the past years with more than 20 projects and 18 million euro invested. Our locations, our headquarters are in Spain, in Burgos, where we are now. And we have also an office in Miami, in the US, to service all the North American market. Then we also have an office in Mexico, where we service also North America and South America. And we have an office in Asia, in Singapore, where we service our customers in Asia. And we also have an office in Oceania, in Australia, because we have a big market there as well. So HPP is a global technology, but of course, the implementation in the different markets is quite different. So the leading market is North America with 45% of the machines installed. Then we have Europe following with 28% of the machines installed. And then we have Asia with not bad, 18% of the machines installed. And then we have Oceania, Latin America, and finally Africa with just 1% of the machines. What is happening in the Middle East? It's a growing market with a huge potential, but the growth has been very slow, but they have been sustained in the past years. So it wasn't until 2015 when we have our first HPP unit in the Middle East, and it was in Lebanon, and it was installed in a confidential manufacturer. So then in 2016, we had our first HPP unit in United Arab Emirates. It's in a confidential juice manufacturer in Abu Dhabi. And then it was until 2017 that we had our first HPP tolling center. It was Smart Food Solutions in Dubai that we have here today invited in the panel. And John will give us later more information about it. It was the first company in the Middle East dedicated exclusively to HPP service for third parties. And then we have been growing continuously, installing one machine a year. And this year, 2021, we'll have our first units installed in Saudi Arabia or Turkey. So we are opening more and more the market. We have 6 machines so far in 5 different countries. And one thing that is very important is that we have 100 of the market share there. So all high pressure machines in the market at Hyperbaric, which make us very happy. And by applications, by apps. So these are the products that can be processed by high pressure processing. The leading is for the liquid products, juices and beverage, which is 24% of the total machines installed. Then we have meat products with 19%, then guacamole with 18%, 16% is tolling services as smart food solutions. And then the rest of the machines are processing seafood, are doing R&D and product development. We have also ready meals being processed, then salsas and plant-based food products, and 1% is baby food. And another interesting application that have been raising lately is pet food. That we are installing some machines this year for this innovative application, because it's another ready-to-eat category, but for the pets. In the Middle East market, we have customers processing juices and beverages, ready-to-eat meals, guacamole and avocado products, salsas, plant-based and fruit products, and dairy products. Unfortunately, due to confidentiality reasons, I cannot show and share many of the products. But well, since today we have essentially a smart food with us, I will show the products. So essentially, it's mainly doing juices with a focus on the nutritional value. I will explain later. And smart food solutions, they are processing many different products. Of course, juice and liquids are a big part of their business, but they are also processing ready meals, guacamole, and other salsas. So John, we will tell us later. If you want to find out some more information on the market, you can go to our website, and on the blog, you have this article that we posted in March on the HPP in the Middle East, new trends and products to come. I give you the link here, so you can go to it when you have some time, and you can have a deeper view on the products and the market. And that was my last slide. Thank you so much. You can feel free to contact me directly on my email or on the phone. I have WhatsApp on this number. So if you have any questions, you can also leave us those questions in the chat that we have here for the live. And now I will introduce our panelists. We have John Santos with us. John is an environmental engineer, specialist in environmental management from Pontificia Bolivariana University in Colombia, with a background in environmental management systems, environmental economics, solid and hazardous waste management. And since 2017, as I have said, he has dedicated his life to smart food solutions, a new challenge in his life that we will completely change his field. It's a project that will give him, that is bringing him a lot of new opportunities to create different products for his customers. And now, John, will you please introduce your company more?
Sure, David, thank you so much. Okay, just give me 1 minute. While I change this to the slide. Okay, sure. Now you see me? Did you see me?
Yes.
Sorry, I will back to you.
We see it now. Perfect.
Okay, thank you, David. Well, we are Smart Food Solutions. We are a company of Dubai, Free Zone. We are the first HPP tolling facility, as David mentioned it. We started, the project started in 2016, but we got the machine in 2017 and operation in 2018. We are HACCP certificate, ISO certificate. We had 2 different services here. The HPP service for all the companies that they want to get into this technology. Well, they can do it through us. And also we help them to develop the products. Even for some companies that they don't want to do HPP, but they want to develop a new product, they come to us and we help them. Talking about our clients, well, it's the same for me. I cannot reveal all the names, but I can just tell you a little what are the products that we process here daily. Some of them are cold pressed juices, shots, smoothies, hummus, baba ganoush, mutawal, cold brew coffee, plant-based milk, dairy, free dairy products like the nut meats as well, dip sauce, and some ready-to-eat like pasta, soups. Also, we have our own products. We have avocado paste, pure 100% has avocado. We also do guacamole, 100% ingredients, and HPP, obviously. And in a couple of months, maybe 2 months, we are going to launch 2 new products, overnight oats and chia pudding, also 100% natural, and HPP. When it comes to our facility, well, we are a family business. We have a small location, 300 square meters. We are located in Dubai Silicon Oasis in a free zone unit. All our cold rooms are temperature controlled because, you know, the important part of the temperature in HPP. We have a HPP 55, but in the future, in our plans, we want to upgrade that machines to get a 300, 300, because we know we want to increase our HPP capacity. Also, we want to increase the size of our facility because with the new product that we are going to produce, we will need more space. Also, we have in mind some new products like soups, baby foods, because there is a good potential for this kind of products here in UAE. Well, that's all from my side. If you want, you are free to contact us in this information. Well, that's it for my side. So we can continue with the next part.
Thank you, John. Very interesting, all those new products and in these new expansion plans, everything sounds very promising. Wish you the best of luck.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, David.
Now I will introduce our other panelist, Gemma Wright, that she's with essentially. She has 17 years of experience in the fast-moving consumer goods sector, having completed a Bachelor of Science in Medical Microbiology and a Master of Science in Nutrition. She has passion for the food and well-being, has spent 9 years in the UK working for Novel Foods and 8 years in the Middle East. She has been with Essentially for 4 years now as a general manager, and now is enjoying being integral to the year-over-year growth of the company ever since. Thank you so much for joining, Gemma. Please, can you introduce your company in deeper?
I will. Thank you, David. I'll just open my presentation.
You're welcome.
You just confirm everything's fine?
Yeah, we see it perfectly. Thank you.
So Essentially is a health and well-being brand, and we specialize in cold pressed juices, as well as manufacturing a few other health products. For the purposes of today, we'll focus on our cold pressed juices. So Essentially is a company that is fueled by a passion for nutrition and well-being. And we have nutritionists working in the company who are integral to our product development. We were established in 2012 by a couple who are the founders of the business. And actually, they both struggled with gastrointestinal issues. And so they had a personal interest in health products, and they actually started manufacturing their own green juices in their kitchen at home. And what you see actually on the screen, the essential green recipe, is where it all began, in their kitchen. And they noticed immediately a massive switch in their day-to-day in terms of energy, less bloating, and just feeling good on a day-to-day basis. And that's how the company was born. So as I mentioned, how we do it is basically every single product that we manufacture is always with nutrition at the core. And every single bottle that we manufacture has a specific health benefit in mind. So we use transparent labeling, and we always put our health benefit on the front of every bottle. So what you see is what you get. So how do we do this? How do we keep the quality and stand by our core values? So most importantly, we really focus on superior produce. So we never buy B quality grade fruit and veg, for example. We purchase the highest grade possible, which is not normal for a juice company. And we keep a really, really close eye on quality, with a particular focus on organic and natural local sourcing where possible. We also ensure all of our products are fresh and raw. So our biggest USP is we never use heat, hence being a cold press juice company. And for us, of course, raw means power. So the maximum amount of vitamins, minerals, and enzymes possible is what we want in the final product. And by not using heat, we make that possible. As a brand, we are always very transparent and very honest. So like I said, we have transparent labels, and all of our ingredients are listed on the front of the bottle. So what you see is really what you get. We never ever add sugar, preservatives. All of our products are gluten-free and dairy-free. So it's a really clean declaration product. And of course, we always want to make it affordable. So trying to appeal to as many people as possible and making good quality nutrition available on the go at a smart price. And of course, we do that through scale up, which has been one of the amazing benefits of HPP, which I'll talk about in a bit more detail in a moment. But our biggest mission is definitely to make the nutritional products more affordable and available to everybody. And I've basically already said this point about making it for everyone. But really, from our new product development to our branding, we make sure that it appeals to children, families, male, female, you name it. We try and cover all bases. So we have 16 different SKUs, including nut milks, cold pressed juices, immunity boosting shots. So hopefully there is something for everyone in our portfolio of products. And why we chose HPP. So as you probably have gathered by now, it's very much a nutritionally focused brand. And so for us, that really is the most important part of our NPD process, making sure that what we do is really shown on the bottle and is in the final product. And as we are the leading cold pressed juice brand, we think it's important to make sure that we're using technologies that are first of all safe. So we focus a lot of our messaging around HPP actually on food safety, rather than the benefits of the extended shelf life, which is also amazing. But for us, it's important to maintain the nutritional vitality of the product, keep an amazing taste, and ensure colour vibrancy. And HPP has been the only technology we've found to be able to do all of those things. As I mentioned, heat is something that we definitely can't use in any of our process. So HPP was a no-brainer in that sense. And then, of course, from a shelf life perspective, it's been incredible, to be honest, to be able to offer a 3-day shelf life product at 28 days with no compromise on colour, taste, and nutrition. So for our retail entry, it's honestly been absolutely key, as well as obviously them not having to shoulder any waste. It's also the same case for us from a production perspective. We're managing to hold stock and manage the product really well. So those are the main reasons for using HPP in the first place. And I have to say, it's been a fantastic process. Over the last 2 years, we've doubled our turnover, and it's down to this process for sure. Meet the family. So this is just a snapshot of some of the products that we offer. And something we really pride ourselves on is from a retail perspective, when we're entering into the market, we really like to give maximum information on our products. So whenever we're doing promotions, for example, it's always about why you're buying this product, why it's good for you, what are the true benefits. And we back it up all with our nutritional information and science. So it's not just marketing blah, blah, it is what it is. And that's everything from me. So if you would ever like any more information or to get in touch, please see my phone number and my email address, and do visit our website so you can see a little bit more about what we're doing and the products that we can offer. Thank you so much. I will pass you back over.
Thank you, Gemma. That was great. I have to say that I have tried most of the products and they taste delicious.
Oh,
the
good.
colors are amazing. Yeah. So
thank you, David.
Congrats. Okay, guys. So let's start the discussion panel itself. I will start. I have prepared a series of questions. I may take some of the chat. I will remember the audience that you can now type all your questions in the live chat, and I will start with the first. So, guys, how did you know the HPP technology, and why did you decide to implement it? Gemma, will you please put the ball turning?
Of course I will, yes. So as we mentioned previously, I've been in the Middle East now for 8 years. And honestly, when I first came, I hadn't heard of HPP technology. It was only really when I started working for essentially 4 years ago that I started looking into the beverage sector in more detail and really became very interested in the processing side of the business. And we do follow key brands like Suja and Evolution Fresh. And as I read into the detail, I realized that's how they were managing to provide a longer shelf life without using pasteurization. So that's kind of how it all started, just through trial and error, really, reading up on what other people were up to. So I'm happy we discovered it.
Sure. Those big guys in the US have been our biggest platform for the expansion of this juice and beverage category all over the world.
Yeah.
And what about you, John?
Okay, in our case, well, my family have been in the food industry for maybe 30 years. So they used to go to food events like Gold Food. In these 7 days, saw the technology, they met some people that they were dealing with this kind of HPP technology. So they got curious and they started looking more about this technology. So in 2016, they decided that they want to go with this technology because they saw the potential. So in December 2016, they invited me to this project. I came here in 2017, and we started this journey.
Yeah, interesting story as well.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's really nice.
Yeah, there was the potential and the market was there, and then you decided to take the risk and to open the first tolling center, and this is great that you are being so successful and so on.
Yeah. And thank you for all your support as well, no?
Thank you. So let's move to the next question. In your opinion, what are the steps to create a successful HPP product? This is a tough one. So let's start again with essentially.
Sure. So to be honest with you, when I was reading about the technology and seeing what other brands were doing, I thought it was basically create your product, throw it in the machine, and it comes out with an extended shelf life. Full stop. To be honest,
most of the people think that.
Exactly. So for us, it's actually fantastic that the process is much more intricate than that, because it kind of convinces retailers to not just go and do it themselves and to use companies that have experience in the MPD process. So, for example, a green juice, we amended our recipe over the course of a year to get that perfect for it to be good for HPP, i.e., when you put it through the process, it comes out exactly the same. More from a color perspective, to be honest, than anything else. But of course, it slightly alters the taste. And you just have to be really mindful of that when you're creating products. So it's definitely not a simple case of just taking anything off the shelf and putting it through and hoping to get an extended shelf life.
Yeah. And what about your experience, John? You have developed many products, not only juice and beverage, right?
Yes. Well, I think that, well, for one side, you need the marketing. You have good marketing for your product to see if you have a space there. When it comes to the product directly, I think the packaging, because you can have an amazing juice, the best ingredients, the more clean process. But if you don't have a good packaging, that's going to be a really problem for you. So for me, that's the most important part. And we help all our clients with that because that's something critical. And as Gemma said, most of them think that you just put it there, and it's not like that. No, we know we cannot use all the kind of packaging. So some people come to me with a bottle, a glass bottle. So they tell me, no, I want you to do this. No, take it easy. Let's have a talk. And this is the way. And well, we guide them to do all these things. No, but yes, for me, the most important part is that play with the recipe as well to have to get the more potential of the HPP, and obviously have a good taste for your product, no, as well.
Yeah, and the packaging, do you think that it's not only a matter of integrity of the product, but it also have a big impact on the shelf life, right?
Yes, it's really important.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's really important because if you don't have a good packaging, maybe you can have a small leakage, a micro leakage in the product. So the shelf life is going to be a little shorter than you can expect.
Yeah,
that's something really important. And currently here in Mifddle it's not too easy to get all the packaging. When it comes to juices, like essentially, well, the bottles is a little more normal, it's something that you can use here. But when it comes to pouches and also the containers for ready-to-eat meals, it's a little hard to find here. So you must to work a lot in that part, no? But well, we can make it anyway.
I know you have been struggling to find the right packaging for the ready-to-eat meals.
Yeah. It's hard, but well, we made it at the end.
Okay, guys, let's get to the third questions. Do you find it difficult to communicate the consumers the benefit of the technology? How do you feel it's the product perception or the positioning compared to other in the same category? Let's have now John starting.
Okay, well, in this moment, it's more easy than before. I must to accept it. Now people know more about the technology. But in 2017, when we started looking for the potential client, it was a little hard. Now everybody is like, for example, Jetman, that they were looking into the technology to increase the shelf life of their products and the food safety. Some of them they want it, but they don't know about this, and when they don't know something, they are a little afraid of this. So that's a little limitation at the beginning. It was a hard work to teach the people here how is this technology. But the good part is now, with all these things of the sanitary situation, people is taking more about the hygiene of everything, including the food hygiene. So this is helping to the people to open more their minds to all this kind of technology. So it's really good, actually. Now it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say a similar point whereby I think the food safety element has now become way more important than the shelf life. So in terms of explaining the shelf life, we always kind of strip that back and make it slightly irrelevant to the consumer by just saying to them it's an extra step in food safety. If you think about the fact that in our case, they're drinking a raw product, which of course has been sanitized and everything else, but it hasn't been cooked. So they don't really understand sometimes, when you talk about food safety, they just assume because it's coming from a factory that it's absolutely fine. But I think when you start really explaining, and the fact that we take another step versus our competitors, it's something they really appreciate. And from a buying perspective, we did notice initially, to be honest, that consumers, because they're finding our products in a chilled shelf, for example, amongst products with a 3-day shelf life, they wonder why the expiry date is, 28 days later, for example. So we did get a lot of initial questions, but to be honest, I feel like you say, John, now it's become quite widely known in the region that shelf life doesn't always mean fresh in a way. So I think people are understand labeling a little bit more than they used to, and they're more worried about preservatives and stabilizers and E numbers being inside their product rather than worrying about how you manage to get that shelf life,
Yeah. I totally agree with your thoughts, guys. And well, now you have been addressing a little bit on last of the consumer trends and so on, like clean label and so on. But how do you feel like other trends are affecting your products, like plant-based, sugar reduction, sustainability on supply and production method, food waste, packaging recyclability? Are those concepts having impact on your product or your customer products?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, 100%. I think current consumer trends are switching massively towards health and well-being, sustainability, clean product declarations, all of which, thankfully for our brand, are a tick in the right direction. But I think it's also great for us that other brands and manufacturers are being forced to be more mindful of what they're putting in their products. So, I mean, the sugar tax, for example, in the Middle East has had a massive, massive impact on sugary beverages, which has forced people to switch the way that they're manufacturing products. You'll see so many brands now offering a sugar-free range or offering a cleaner declaration range, which I think is amazing because as a consumer, thank God I'm a nutritionist because I understand what the hell I'm eating and drinking because I read the labels. But a normal person in the streets, they have no idea. They see the marketing message and they just believe it and assume that what they're consuming is perfectly safe. But it's definitely not always the case. So yeah, it's definitely positively impacted our business for sure.
But you didn't have to change any of the recipes because your juices were already not having sugar added, were already 100% plant-based and so on, right?
Exactly. If anything, it's just made us shout about those things even more. So whereas before we maybe were focused on having your 5 a day and being very clear about the fact that the product contains fruits and vegetables, now we're also shouting about all the things that we maybe didn't necessarily think were, you know, necessary to talk about, like being gluten-free, being dairy-free, not adding preservatives, not adding sugar. We kind of thought that was obvious, but now obviously there's this trend and craze towards those types of messages. So it's great for us that we just shout about them louder.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And one of the first experience that I had in that market when we first were introducing the HPP technology there, it was like when we were promoting the technology, as you can now have juice not from concentrate or with sugar added or so on. The market, my feeling, it was that the market was kind of reluctant because they were used to have sugar in the juice, and then you were to make them have something different. And now I totally agree with you that the trend is changing. The consumer education is getting better, and they understand the label. They are more concerned on health, and yeah, the market is switching.
Yeah, definitely. And I noticed, for example, we launched our immune boosting shots, thank God, on time before COVID actually. And I mean, John might be able to chip in here, but I'm sure he's also noticed a huge volume in that product type. So people looking for a convenient grab and go nutritional boost, which to be honest before wasn't really a big kind of, wasn't a demand in the market that I knew of until now. So it's also forced us to launch more specific products, I would say.
Yeah. That's something really true. Now you can see even the bigger competitors, traditional companies, that they used to all in the old way, no, the thermal heat and all this kind of process, and now they are moving to this technology. They want to offer something more clean, more healthy, and they are worried about this. So this is really good because it's changing the market completely. Also, now you can see also there is some new products that are offering you really low calorie calorie content. So now people is looking also for a healthy product, fresh product, but also with a low number of the calories. So that's something really important. And all these kind of products can meet this specification. So it's really good.
But they have to taste good as well.
Yeah, obviously. But anyway, for your taste is different, no? Yeah. Everyone has different likes, so there is a space for everybody, no?
Yeah.
Well, you know, there were some studies made in the US when they started with this new trend for the green juices and so on, where they had a survey and people were feeling like more nutritional those recipes that were greener and with sour taste. So when you feel it's kind of awful, you feel like it's more nutrition. But hopefully now with the right formulation and so on, we can have a very higher nutritional juice at the same time that they taste good. Do you agree, guys?
Yeah, that's the old perception of the green juices, no? I still not fan of the green juices, I must admit, but now the flavors are better, no?
Way better.
We noticed as well, actually, with our green juices specifically, I think people love the idea of having one, but it's not necessarily their first choice in terms of taste. And we found whenever we do our kitchen samples versus HPP, the kitchen samples taste a lot more sour and kind of unblended, almost like if you were at home and you made it yourself, you can probably recognize it tastes very green. I know it's a weird thing to say, but when we put them through HPP, they actually go a bit more creamy and a bit more blended. Obviously, it's the process that supports that. So it does actually improve our flavor and gives it a natural kind of sweetness, which we can't match in the kitchen.
Yeah, this is a value added.
Yeah, that's really true. In our case, it's happened the same with the avocado paste. You know, sometimes the avocado is not creamy as usual because it depends on the season. But when the HPP, when it comes to the HPP, the avocado gets more creamy after the process. So it's really good. It's happy. It's something similar to it. Improve the flavor and the texture of the product.
Yeah.
Great. All good then. So let's skip to the next question. What do you feel, and this is for John mainly, what are the most consolidated HPP applications in your market?
Well, I think like the same in all around the world is the juices. Most of the juices are in the market. I must say that should be HPP. If you choose any brand, probably it's HPP. In our case, around 80% of the companies that come here are bringing their juices. There is another market that is growing, that is the ready-to-eat meals, but it's not the same compared with the juices now.
Yeah. And compared to the market share that I have shown on the rest of the world, like the number of machines doing the different applications, we are still there, far away from this same division, of machines. Meat products are very. Do you process any meat products, by the way?
No, for the moment. I made some trials in the past, but they didn't decide to go for the HPP because most of the people come to me because of the shelf life, but no, because the food safety. So these meat products, most of them they have 6 months of shelf life, 1 year of shelf life. So they want 2. So, no. Why 2? You don't need that long. But this technology is going to be better for you for the food safety than for this kind of shelf life. But they don't do it for the moment. But I know how the market is going. They must do it in the future because everybody wants everything fresh and healthy, even the meat products.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time.
They can also be minimally processed or doing it with a better technology, more respectful with the nutrients, and so on. Yeah. On the rest of the trends, I think the guacamole is already happening there. The hummus and tahini and so on, it's already happening there. And what about you, Gemma? Do you think any other product, any other category that you have seen or that you think it will be the future? Or
I think the 2 categories that are not necessarily established yet, but definitely should be and will be, I think, is baby food for one and pet food, because you have a huge number of expats here and they tend to come in families. So I see a huge amount of baby powders and processed baby foods on the shelf, but I don't see anything that's been HPP'd. So I know of quite a few brands that are going through trials, etc., to try and get that finished. So I think it's only a matter of time until the market grows in that sector. And then in the pet food category, again, you only see dried food and tinned food for dogs, and you have freakishly obsessive people here with pets. All of these like micro dogs, and you can imagine how it is in Dubai. They are really, I mean, they want their pet to eat better than they do. So I think offering fresh pet food is definitely a massive opportunity. I mean, you see by the number of pet stores here, it's ridiculous. The number of vets, it's full on.
Yeah. It's something that like 10 years ago, we would imagine like to buy fresh foods for the dogs or the cats. And it should be like, we would never have thought, And now the shift for the healthy foods is for the family, for the kids, and also for the dogs. And the pets are part of the family, And actually, one of the first reasons why the pet food companies decided to go HPP, it was because if you are selling a raw product that you can keep in the fridge or in the let's say in the freezer, it can stay safe. But the thing is that when you deliver it to the dog, to the plate, or the cat, you cannot control when he is going to eat it. And if you have kids or babies in the family, they might go and take some of that food, and it can create a food safety problem in the family. So the first reason to apply it was actually a practical reason. But then it became also a must regarding, other topics on food safety or on keeping the freshness of the product itself. Yeah, an interesting product. Any other views on this question? Okay, so let's skip to the last one that you guys have already had a few comments regarding this. During these last months, the food industry have been suffering the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it have affected both logistics, distribution, production, management, human resources, and everything. So in your experience, what have been the main challenges and how are you overcoming them?
Yeah, from our side, thank goodness we're local manufacturers and we don't really import any of our raw materials. And also, thank goodness we have access to a HPP machine down the road. Otherwise, we would have been massively impacted because there's a few specialty products that we use that do come by air freight, for example, but we've managed to have stocks to not have any issues. But, you know, people that are, I don't know, private labeling and, you know, dealing with manufacturers in different countries, I think it would have been an absolute nightmare. From our side, from a sales perspective, most of our B2B clients have suffered. So anything in food service where, of course, restaurants have been closed, cafes have been closed, it definitely has impacted that side of the business. But thankfully, we are also online. So from a volume perspective, the majority of our volume actually switched to home consumers. So from a profit perspective, we've actually benefited from the process. And now, to be honest with you, in Dubai, everything is going back to a level of normality. And we've seen it's been crazy, to be honest with you, the amount of demand we've had for our products. New cafes and restaurants requesting our products because they're conscious of offering something healthy, especially in the beverage sector. Most of our customers actually are pizza brands, which is interesting. So they kind of think it's okay, I'll eat something really dirty, or I'll feel better after by having a green juice. So yeah, it's really interesting.
It's a green juice, okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think people feel like as long as you're adding nutrition in, it doesn't really matter what else is going in. So yeah, we've seen a huge demand from new customers without actually going out and trying to get any. So it's been great for us.
And did you have more demands for those recipes having vitamin C or ginger or any other components that are supposed to boost the immune system, or?
It has, I mean, the shots particularly have done really well from a rate of sale perspective, definitely, more than usual, for sure. But to be honest with you, because the majority of our products have a health benefit in mind, nearly all of them are going to be good for you, especially if you're not already consuming juice or enough fruit and veg throughout the day. But yeah, I would say the immune boosting shots more than anything have definitely increased in volume, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So John, what did you say?
Okay, in our case, we have many clients, no? So if they decrease their sales, we decrease our sales. It actually happened during the pandemic. And I noted that the customers, the companies that took more time to get how can I say, to adapt to this situation are the ones who keep the sales lower. For example, what Gemma says about the sales online, there was some companies that were focusing more in the cafes, in the supermarkets, and not too much online. So these ones, they suffer more during the pandemic. So the companies that adapt immediately to the sales online, they continue having a good sales. Maybe less than before the pandemic, but enough to survive the pandemic, no? So that's what I saw with our clients. Most of them, they adapt quickly. Just one or two, they didn't quickly. But at the end, everybody knows now what the other companies is doing, even if you keep it as a secret. So everybody's adapt to this situation and start selling again and getting a better market, no? But more focusing online. Most of the clients did that thing, and it helped them a lot to continue during the pandemic. In our case, well, the sales decreases a little, but also but due to the pandemic, we couldn't get the machinery on time and everything. So we are finishing that project this year. But what it was good, as Gemma mentioned it. Here, the situation is really good. We are so far best than the rest of the world. everything is open now here, and soon they will open more. So it's really good to be here, actually.
So you would say that the online sales and the retail sales more or less compensated what you lose on restaurants and cafe on Horeca?
Yes.
Yeah, for
That's the
us,
situation.
that was the case. And actually, it was also a really nice opportunity to give back a little because, for example, with Dubai is already crazy for deliveries. So it wasn't weird that people were having more deliveries than usual. Like you can't get on the road without seeing a delivery driver or carrying running around on their motorbikes. So for us, it was really nice in a way that we could give them free juices and make sure they were also staying, hydrated and had some nutrition. And we were also supplying some hospitals during the pandemic to make sure that the staff were getting, what they could. So it was nice in a way. Whilst we were benefiting, we also gave back to people that were really struggling because it wasn't all rosy for everybody. I mean, we've all seen a lot of personal circumstances where it hasn't been okay. So
All trying to help.
Yeah, of course.
Everything counts,
Yeah,
that's important.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining us in this panel. I find it very interesting to discuss with you on the Middle East market. Unfortunately, we are almost running out of time, so we have to keep saying goodbye. And I will tell all our audience that they can keep sending the questions through the chat. And once the session is finished, they can feel free to email us, Hyperbaric directly, me or you guys, and we will be very, very glad. I speak in your name, and we will be very glad to answer them all their questions. Well, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Real
you.
pleasure. And I hope
thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you for having us.
I hope we can repeat it soon.
Sure, just let it know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Stay safe. Bye.
Thank you.